Our top focus this evening, is it the end of the road for Yakub Memon, the 1993 blast convict? His second mercy petition is pending with the President. Home Minister Rajnath Singh has reached Rashtrapati Bhavan. Sources in the President's house are telling India Today that President Pranab Mukherjee will take a final decision after getting a response from the Home Minister. We're being told that two petitions, Yakub's own mercy plea and the one submitted by 40 eminent persons seeking mercy for the 1993 blast convict, both were forwarded by the Rashtrapati Bhavan to the Home Ministry. After holding consultations with ministry officials and seeking the Law Ministry's opinion as well, Home Minister Rajnath Singh has now reached Rashtrapati Bhavan, where reportedly consultations are being held with President Pranab Mukherjee. Let's get now word from our team of reporters tracking this big story for us. We have Sahil Joshi, our Mumbai bureau chief, who's with us live. We also have Amrita Shedge and Anusha Soni. Anusha, I want to come to you first. A crucial meeting there taking place at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Home Minister Rajnath Singh, I believe, had sought an opinion from the Law Ministry earlier this evening as well, after receiving those mercy petitions from the Rashtrapati Bhavan for an opinion.
Absolutely correct, Simi. And as the law goes, it is on the advice of the Ministry of Home Affairs that the President will take a final call on this matter. Under the Constitution, there is no bar on the number of mercy petitions Yakub Memon can move. If you remember, the first petition was in fact rejected by the President. He has argued today in court that he has invoked fresh grounds, which includes his schizophrenia, his health grounds, his good conduct inside the prisons. And these are, of course, valid grounds that the President will consider. But as far as the Supreme Court goes, from the courts, all doors are closed, and any hopes, if left, it is from the doors of the President.
Absolutely. The last hope for mercy for Yakub Memon now rests at rests with President Pranab Mukherjee. Let's also get a word from Sahil Joshi, who's with us live this evening. Sahil, security has been tightened across Maharashtra, especially in Mumbai, after a high alert was sounded following a threat.
Absolutely, Simi. In fact, Maharashtra government and the Mumbai police, including Maharashtra police, this thing started moving immediately after the Supreme Court came up with a clear verdict that there will be no hearing on curative petition, and the stay on the death warrant was not granted. After that, things started moving quickly. The DGP of Maharashtra Police, Mumbai Police Commissioner Rakesh Maria met with Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis. Mumbai Police has immediately started putting up warnings across Mumbai. Mumbai Police has already come up with a warning that they will not accept any kind of communal tension within the city. They will not accept any rumor mongering within the city. The social media websites, WhatsApp, everything has been monitored by Mumbai Police, Mumbai Police Crime Branch. Mumbai Police is ready for the occasion because they think that there is a possibility that the family of Yakub Memon would want to have the final ceremony in Mumbai, the final rites in Mumbai. That is the reason why they are prepared for that. In the morning at 7 o'clock, as per the death warrant, if he's hanged in the Nagpur jail, after that the body might be brought back to Mumbai and the last rites will be performed in Mumbai. So Mumbai Police is getting ready for that. There is a possibility that we spoke to the senior police officials. There is a possibility that tomorrow there can be some preventive detentions, especially those who were involved in any kind of communal violence cases. But Mumbai Police had said they are not yet coming up with openly whether there will be detentions or not, but they are ready for any preventive detentions.
Obviously,
as well.
The police
Article
keeping nothing
144
to
and
chance.
Article 135 has been continued.
All right. Let's also get a word from Amrita Shedge, who's with us live. Amrita, take us through security arrangements that have been put into place outside the Nagpur Central Jail, where that execution is slated to take place.
Simi, Article 144 has been imposed here in Nagpur, and cause of that, the police in Nagpur has clearly said that they have even not allowed the media inside from last 3 or 4 days. All the media personnel were inside the jail, inside the jail premises. But now this evening they have issued a notice by saying that all the media personnel will stand outside the jail premises, outside the barricading. So that now there is tight security in the entire city in Nagpur. Also, they have started
All right, we're going to come back to Amrita in just a bit. We're facing some technical audio difficulty on that line. I will come back to you, Sahil. An important point that you raised there, that social media websites are also being scanned by the special cell of the Mumbai police to ensure there's no rumor mongering and there's peace across the city. Also in Maharashtra, we're told that Devendra Fadnavis held a meeting with the DGP of the state along with the Mumbai Police Commissioner.
Mumbai police had already burned their hands in the past because of the rumors spread on the social media websites. The riots happened at Azad Maidan after a big morcha at Azad Maidan against attacks on Muslims in Myanmar and other parts of the world. So Mumbai police is not taking any chances at this point of time. They are keeping close watch on the social media website, social websites, especially because there is a possibility that wrong stories or wrong news or rumors might be spreading on those particular websites. Now, the second important thing is that they know that there is a background of riots for these blasts. So, especially in the sensitive areas, Mumbai police is taking extra precautions. As I said before, 135 and 144 articles have been imposed in Mumbai, and they have continued it because they think they have clearly said that they will not allow any kind of celebrations tomorrow, nor any morchas opposing this particular hanging sentence. So they are pretty ready with all the details.
All right.
And the most worry is basically about the last riots which will be performed in Mumbai.
Right. Security in place for that execution if it takes place tomorrow. Sahil, Amrita and Anusha, thanks so much for that update. Last few crucial minutes here. Still no clarity on whether or not Yakub Memon is going to be hanged tomorrow. We do know that Rajnath Singh is meeting President Pranab Mukherjee even as we speak. A crucial announcement expected any time now. We managed to get a reaction from some of the family members of victims who lost their lives during the 1993 blast. We also managed to speak to the hangman who's getting ready for the execution inside Nagpur Central Jail. Take a look.
न्याय मिला नहीं, न्याय लेट मिला है. अगर आप आंखों से देखते थे तो बोलते थे कितना बड़ा अन्याय हो गया हमारा देश के ऊपर. अगर कोई बाहर का मटेरियल लेके आदमी आके एक बड़े शहर के अंदर इतने लोगों की मौत होती है तो बहुत बड़ा अन्याय हुआ है और बहुत लेट हो चुकी है सजा.
मैं रोज आ जाता हूँ, मैं आधे पौने घंटे में ट्रायल करता हूँ. मैं रस्सी में कहीं कोई बात ना हो जाए, मैं अपने मेरा प्रैक्टिस में लगा रहता हूँ. उनकी सबसे पहले याकूब मेमन की जो मैंने 30 तारीख के लिए फांसी सुनी है, मैं रोज जब उद्दीन रोड ट्रेली में जो है ट्रायल कर रहा हूँ अपना. मैं कहाँ ट्रायल करता हूँ? जंगल में आ जाता हूँ, कभी इधर आ जाता हूँ, कभी इधर आ जाता हूँ. मैं इस तरह से शांत माहौल में बैठ के भाई ये ट्रायल करता हूँ मैं.
We'll continue tracking developments. Is it the end of the road for Yakub Memon? We'll get you more updates with Rajdeep Sardesai on News Today at 9 in just a bit. Do stay with us.
Okay, let me go straight to our correspondent Anusha Soni for that big story that we are now breaking. We are being told, Anusha, that the Home Ministry is sticking to its stand. Yakub Memon's plea should be rejected. That's what Rajnath Singh has just communicated to President Pranab Mukherjee. Am I to therefore understand that now all legal and even political options are over for Yakub Memon?
Rajdeep, when the Supreme Court handed down that judgment today rejecting both the petitions filed by Yakub, all the doors as far as the judiciary in this country is concerned were closed for Yakub Memon. There was no way he could get any relief from the courts. Under the constitution, there is no bar on the number of mercy petitions you can move. Hence, he moved this last-minute petition. If this mercy petition is rejected, this will be the last nail for Yakub Memon, because after this, even constitutionally speaking, he would have no further legal options. He argued today in the court. He said he has fresh grounds, he has new things and new facts to present to the president, and he in fact said that there are medical grounds also that he wants to bring to the notice of the president. However, if they find no favor with the president, all doors shut for Yakub Memon.
Okay, Anusha, I'm going to come back to you for more. We are awaiting the final communique from the president's office. We will get that in a little while from now, but I want to raise the big question now. Amidst all this breaking news, has justice really been done in the Yakub Memon case? That's what's going to be our focus. What exactly has been said in the court and what does this mean? KTS Tulsi, senior advocate, Supreme Court and member of parliament, and someone who's part of that eminent citizens group that has written to the President of India seeking clemency for Yakub Memon, is with us. Shantanu Sen, former additional director of the CBI, was someone who headed the investigations in the 93 Mumbai blast case. Kiran Bedi, former IPS officer who has strong views on the issue, joins me. Sunil Bappan is a victim of the 93 blast case. He is with us. Bishwajit Bhattacharya, former Additional Solicitor General, and Nalin Kohli of the BJP. Appreciate all of you joining us at the moment. I want to come to each one of you to get your first reactions to what we are hearing. KTS Tulsi, it appears that the Home Ministry has rejected what you and other eminent citizens wanted, which was a reprieve, clemency for Yakub Memon. Your response?
Well, I think that so far as the legal process is concerned, we should all bow our heads and accept gracefully the verdict of the Supreme Court, because we as lawyers are taught that while we can argue passionately, but the moment the verdict is rendered, you have to bow and say, please your lordship, and be able to say that with a smile, accept the superior wisdom of the court. We argue for one of the parties, so therefore we argue from one side, whereas the judges are endowed with the superior wisdom because they sit in the middle.
But Mr. Tulsi, hold it. Mr. Tulsi, despite the fact that the judges had ruled that in Yakub's case, that the death penalty was valid, you and other citizens had gone to the president and had filed a mercy plea, claiming that there were additional circumstances that need to be looked at. Now that seems to have been rejected, at least by the Home Ministry, which is at the moment briefing the President. Your response to that?
Right. My response is that, you see, we have no means of being able to verify whether that was correct, whether he was given an assurance that in return for your giving us the evidence, we will assure you that you will not be given the death sentence. We don't know whether that is true or not, but there is only a straw in the wind, that is the article which was published in the name of Mr. Raman, and he personally knew, but we can't go by people's memory. The question is there a record of that? And if there is a record, perhaps it would have been produced before the Supreme Court, or the Attorney General wouldn't have made this statement like that, unequivocal statement that there was no such promise.
Can I hold you?
We went to the President because the President has much wider jurisdiction than the Supreme Court.
Mr. Tulsi, I want you to hold you on that point, and I want to get Nalin Kohli to respond to that. Here you're hearing Mr. Tulsi saying that was there a deal between Yakub Memon and the intelligence agencies? Now, is that enough in your view, Nalin Kohli, to suggest that Yakub Memon should have got a reprieve? Because there will be those who will say, what if tomorrow Dawood Ibrahim came back to India and said, look, I want to surrender, I'm going to reveal the entire underworld network that I was in a sense sponsored by the ISI, I will reveal all my contacts. Is that enough for him to not get the death penalty, you believe?
Mr. Sardesai, let me look at it in totality. I think what happens is, with such issues, we tend to mix too many issues and therefore little confusion comes. Like the discussion on whether there should be corporate punishment or not, whether there should be the death penalty or not, is a debate that's been on. It's in many countries. To link it with every time a decision is coming, and whether in this case where it's finally announced, may create a little confusion and seem that is it opportune. Let's come to the next issue, which is about Mr. Raman's article. Now, I've read that article. I find it fascinating that he mentions in it that Yakub Memon came, met his lawyer, a relative in Kathmandu, and was advised to return to Karachi. And Nepal police found him suspicious, apprehended, he was finally arrested. Now, let's go to the next point. Mr. Raman is no longer there, so it can't be verified. However, if there was a deal, the first question that comes to my mind is that how is it wasn't raised through the entire trial, either by his counsels or by him? Something as critical as this was absolutely ignored in the trial and allowed to come right at the end when an article is published, for whatever be the angle, and therefore say, no, something is vitiated in that. So I don't think we should take the law of evidence so lightly, the judicial process so lightly. Whatever it is, I consider this a recognition of the fact that in India, the judiciary functions, gives everyone the right to exhaust every remedy available to them. But when it comes to a situation of closure, as we have today by the Honorable Supreme Court, that's where this debate has to end. Because you can't be constantly reopening it to say whether there was another angle or not. That way, nothing would reach closure ever.
That's an interesting point, that there must come a time when a legal debate must end, and now that the 3-judge bench has pronounced, you believe that that time has come to end the legal debate. I want to speak for a moment to Sunil Bappan. He's a victim of the 93 blast. सुनील जी, आज आप सुन रहे हैं, ये बहस सुन रहे हैं, क्या याकूब मेमन को उम्र कैद होनी चाहिए, क्या उनको फांसी होनी चाहिए, आप किस तरह से देखते हैं? क्योंकि आपको वो दर्द हुआ जो दूसरों को नहीं दिखाई दिया, आपके परिवार वालों उस ब्लास्ट में मरे थे, आप हमें बताइए, क्या आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
उनको तो फांसी होना चाहिए।
आपको लगता है कि जितने भी विक्टिम्स हैं उनका एक ही मन है कि उनको फांसी होनी चाहिए? आपको नहीं लगता 21 साल उन्होंने जेल में बिताए हैं, उनको काफी सजा मिली है?
हाँ, लेकिन सजा मिलने से क्या है, फांसी होएगा तो अच्छा है ना, सबको सबक मिल जाएगा फांसी होने के बाद।
सबक मिल जाएगा। You know, this point which is being made by a number of people, that the lesson will be taught if there is, if Yakub Memon is given the death penalty. I want to bring in for a moment Ujjwal Nikam. Ujjwal Nikam, do you really believe that if Yakub is given the death penalty tomorrow morning, this will be a lesson to others? Will others think twice really before bombing a city like Mumbai? Let's be honest, Dawood Ibrahim, Tiger Memon, your main accused are not even caught by you.
Rajdeep, we can't make any distinction between the main conspirator or other conspirator, because all the conspirators are in the same line. This first thing. Now the death penalty is normally been asked and it is to be awarded only in rarest of crime, and the very purpose of such deterrent sentence is not to punish the very criminal, but to give a message to the like-minded people. Now I think, this is my opinion, that this sentence would give a strong signal across the border, for the simple reason because certain calculated efforts were being made since a long time from the other side, that to motivate our people, to motivate our Indian citizen on the ground of the religions, and to provoke them and to do, asking them to commit certain terrorist act. I think the Supreme Court, while confirming the death penalty, has impliedly made a clear distinction between the planters and the conspirator, and the Supreme Court has awarded death penalty to the conspirator because the perpetrators who act to the tune of the conspirator.
Will it serve as a lesson? Mr. Ujjwal Nikam, my question to you was direct. If Yakub Memon hangs tomorrow, do you believe that it will serve as a lesson, or do you believe at the end of the day, after 21 years, your trial has, the man has been 21 years, he has been in life imprisonment, which many believe is an even worse punishment than death. Do you really believe it will be a deterrent for others?
Of course, it should be act as a deterrent to the other people also who are like-minded persons, because when we are talking about the Dawood Ibrahim and the Tiger Memon, when they are not before the court and when they are not facing trial, many people raise this question. But I think to raise such type of questions are futile according to me, because the very purpose of the deterrent sentence is being frustrated on account of the delay in execution. Now, who has caused the delay? That is a specific question. Why this delay has been taken long time? Because who is responsible? Because accused never admit even the post-mortem notes, damages certificate. For every purpose, the prosecution was required to prove all these documents. So it is the accused, because they were not disputing about the explosion, they were not disputing about the number of the casualty, they were not disputing about the property damage, but even they adopted a D2 theory to delay the trial and derail the trial. Fortunately, our witnesses supported us and they gave the evidence. So that is one of the reasons that accused are primarily responsible for causing the delay.
You know, I need to understand this, Kiran Bedi. Do you really believe, let's get this very clear, will the hanging of Yakub Memon tomorrow morning serve as a deterrent, do you believe? Is that an important reason that Yakub must hang?
Rajdeep, let's look at the other way. If he had not been given this final death penalty and the mercy had been accepted and he brought down to life imprisonment, what could have been the impression? A, how would the victims have taken? How would the impact of this, how would it have been construed? I think it would have been considered as a climb down, and for a most violent act which involved 220 plus lives and a trial of 22 to 23 years. And then the man has not said he did.